You are tuned to the Just Don't Quit broadcast network.
This is Randall at JustDon'tQuit.com with live coverage at Sundance after the documentary I'm Pat Tillman. Director Amir Bar-Lev and Richard Tillman talk about how media coverage affected the Tillman family, including Pat's brother, Kevin.
Our family's been burned by a lot of reporters and just all kinds of different media types of people, so he's pretty much has no trust whatsoever with anybody. And he trusts Amir, it was more, he just came at the wrong time. You know, we'd been burned by so many people, and Kevin just ultimately decided not to be a part of it. Amir's talked to Kevin, you know, they know each other, they have a good relationship, but Kevin just ultimately decided against it. So that's why he's not a part of the film.
Can you give us an example of how you were burned by the media?
There's been Sports Illustrated articles that have been totally inaccurate. There's been a book written that is covered with lies.
I can answer that.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I mean, I can say that, you know, because I think we when we set out, we collected pretty much every piece of mainstream media we could get our hands on. We have a huge archive of like every news story on the major networks and the cable networks about this from the beginning of Pat's enlistment and maybe even before to the present moment. And it's laughable at times, if it wasn't so tragic, how superficial the mainstream media's treatment of this story has been. Like, if you looked at the news the night after that Pete Guerin press conference when they scapegoat Kensinger, you just see how brilliant really the military is at playing the media that we have to live with these days, the type of journalism that calls itself journalism. Because every news story on every network was basically saying, you know, the military comes clean, offers a heartfelt apology to the Tillmans. You know, it's like, if that's an apology, I mean, it's actually the opposite of an apology. They're basically saying we looked into it and we know it totally looks like a cover-up, but it wasn't a cover-up. It was this guy who happens to be retired actually didn't understand some minor detail of like the military regulations, and actually in one of the outtakes, Pete Guerin, the Army secretary, is like, basically he's like, I know it is hard to believe, but you got to believe us. There was never any attempt to cover it up, and he's like trying to offer a lie that he barely believes is going to work, and it works on all the major networks. So that's one of the places they've been burned. Yeah.